Hello dear students. Our topic for discussion today is historical development of computer. This is a wonderful topic I know you will definitely enjoy if you pay more than the usual attention. Alright, so I encourage you to sit back, relax and enjoy this wonderful topic, historical development of computer. One of the technologies that humans currently enjoy today is the computer. The computer has been of great help to humans because it's helped to achieve tasks more efficiently and effectively. A computer is an electronic device having characteristics like speed, accuracy, storage capacity, and so on and so forth. Now in this lesson, we shall look at the history of computer. How has computer developed over the years? In this topic, historical development of computers, we shall be looking at the development in 4 basic areas. First of all, we shall look at the early counting devices that humans were using. Then we shall look at the mechanical counting devices. Then we'll see some of the electromechanical counting devices that humans use in time past. And finally, we shall conclude with electronic counting devices. Now, first of all, let us look at the early counting devices that humans used back then. Well, in time past, humans used early counting devices like the fingers, sticks, stones, cowries, and writings on the wall. Now let's talk about the first one, fingers and toes. Fingers and toes were used in counting, which was later used also for addition and subtraction. Pebbles are small stones that were used for counting. These stones too were also used by the early men for basic arithmetic calculations like the additions and subtraction. Cowries are brightly colored molochs with a central tooth opening, just as you can see in this video. Now, just like the pebbles, they were also used for counting. And since cowries were used as money then, the usage was more important for any of the basic arithmetic operations to the early men. Another one used then was the sticks. These included cane and shaped wood that were used for measuring lands and other counting and measuring needs. Writing on wall was another way the early men counted. Now, in the early ages, men learned to use objects like charcoal, mud, limestone, and chalk to write strokes on the wall for counting. This practice led to the development of writing in figures and letters. Now let's look at mechanical counting devices. Now these are devices that involve the use of physical force to operate them. The most important early mechanical counting devices instruments used are the abacus, the astrolabe, the slide rule, PASCALINE, and the reckoner. Now let's talk about the first one, the abacus. Now this is an instrument that is used for arithmetic calculations. It is well known and widely used for more than 2,000 years. It is composed of beads strung on parallel wires in a rectangular frame. The Chinese were the first to use the abacus. Now let's talk about the second one, which is the astrolabe. This is a mechanical calculating instrument that came into use about 2,000 years ago for finding direction. It was used as early as the 1st century CE by the Greeks. The slide rule is a mechanical device which was formerly used by engineers and scientists for fast and approximate multiplication. division and from finding square roots, and a simple of other computations. It consists of a ruler designed with a scale and a sliding central strip. Now let's talk about this next one, which is the PASCALINE. This machine is a mechanical counting device that was developed by a man called Blaise Pascal. Some people call him PASCALINE. Now this machine was called numerical wheel calculation, but later it became so popular as PASCALINE. It was developed by Blaise Pascal to save time in carrying out calculations or computations. The next we are talking about is the reckoner. In 1671, a man named Leibniz introduced the stepped reckoner. It's a device that, as well as performing subtractions, additions, could also multiply, divide, and evaluate square roots. But the stepped reckoner was unreliable because it was having some mechanical parts that tended to jam and malfunction. Now, having seen the mechanical counting devices, let's talk about the electromechanical counting devices. Now, the first one we're going to talk about is John Napier's bone. John Napier was a famous mathematician and a theologian from Scotland. He invented the Napier's rod, also known as the Napier's bone, in 1617, which became an important change in calculating devices. The rods were mainly multiplication table written on sticks of wood or bone. Now let's talk about Blaise Pascal's machine. Yeah, we're talking about Blaise Pascal again, the one also called PASCALINE. Now Blaise Pascal was a French mathematician who was also well grounded in physics and a religious philosopher. He made important contributions to the construction of mechanical calculators. Now, Pascal's machine is a device that was used for calculation. It made calculations faster during this period, that is 1623 to 1662. Now let's talk about Gottfried Wilhelm von Leibniz's machine. Now, he was a German philosopher and a mathematician. His contribution in mathematics was the discovery of the fundamental principles of calculus in 1675. In 1672, he also invented a calculating machine capable of multiplying, dividing, and calculating square roots. Now let's talk about Joseph Marie Jacquard's loom. Now, Joseph Jacquard was a French silk weaver and inventor that invented the Jacquard's automatic loom mechanism in 1801. Jacquard's loom technology was controlled by a punch card that controlled the weaving of the cloths so that any desired pattern could be obtained automatically. Now let's talk about a man called Charles Babbage. Charles Babbage was a British mathematician and inventor. The first machine that could be considered to be a computer in the modern sense was conceived by him. That is why he is called the father of computer. Babbage partially built a machine called the difference engine and developed another more complex machine called analytical engine. The analytical engine was invented to use loops of Jacquard's punch card to control an automatic calculator, which could make decisions based on the result of previous computations. This machine was also invented to employ several features later used in modern computers. Just like I earlier said, Babbage is widely considered as the father of the modern computer. Philip Emeagwali is someone that has contributed greatly to technology and internet as a whole. Philip was born in Akure, Nigeria in 1954. In April 1967, he was withdrawn from school due to the Civil War. After the war, he attended school briefly and then dropped out again because his parents could not afford to pay his school fees. Eventually, he was able to complete his secondary education and later went into the university, where he had a brilliant career. His work as a computer scientist contributed greatly to the internet. Indeed, he was voted one of the 20 inventors of the internet. He is widely called a father of the internet. Emeagwali has received more than 100 prizes, awards and honors, which include the 1989 Gordon Bell Prize, the Distinguished Scientist Award of the World Bank in 1998, and the Best Scientist in Africa Award of the Pan-African Broadcasting. President Bill Clinton of the US described Emeagwali Philip as one of the great minds of the information age. Now let's talk about the electronic counting devices. Let's talk about Hermann Holrich's punch card. Holrich was an American statistician who developed a mechanical tabulator based on punch cards to rapidly tabulate statistics from millions of pieces of data. Holrich built machines for the US Census Bureau, which were to tabulate the 1890 census in 2.5 years instead of 7 years of the 1880 census. Next is John von Neumann's machine. John von Neumann was a Hungarian-born mathematician, a scientist and a genius who touched almost every field of science, including mathematical logic, pure mathematics, and quantum physics. The single memory computer design that most microcomputers use today was developed by John von Neumann. Now, after all these inventions, the mainframe and the supercomputers came into place. These were big computers that could fit into a very large room. But today we have modern computers that are smaller in size and smarter than the mainframe and the supercomputers. Modern computers are integrated systems including machine hardware and instruction sets, system software, application programs, and user interface. These are examples of some modern computers that we currently have. And as you can see, these computers are way smaller and smarter, and they are mobile, unlike the super computer and the mainframe computer. So let's talk about what we've been discussing so far. We started by identifying all the early counting devices. Then we looked at the mechanical counting devices. Then we also talked about the electromechanical counting devices. And finally, we concluded with the electronic counting devices and the modern computer. We saw how some notable men in time past contributed immensely to the development of computer. And we also saw how early men were counting then, and how computer has developed or has become advanced down to our day. Thank you so much for watching down to this point. See you on the next one.